Hi there, everyone. Welcome back. Today, I want to continue on making more interactions for within our levels, and I think today we're going to go ahead and do a simple elevator control. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new scene, and actually, I'm going to start segregating some of these because I want to have some test scenes for each of my interactions, so I don't need to keep messing around with levels that might become real levels in my game. So we're going to go ahead and segregate that out, test scenes, and I'm going to go ahead and create a new scene. This will just be called elevator. Let's see, game assets, scenes, test scenes, elevator, and we're going to load additive our gameplay object scene. That way we can use our player and just jump in here without messing around with our test indoor area scene or anything like that. We need to get rid of the main camera, otherwise we'll have some weird stuff going on. And let's go ahead and build a quick two-level area. So we want to make two planes. And yeah, that's probably fine. And we're going to go ahead and duplicate that. And we'll just go up. There we go. We'll go up to there. And we want to build a elevator. So I'm going to start off with a cube as my base. Make sure our pro grids is on. Actually, I suppose I should have done that before with my plane, just to, yeah, -1, -1. That should also be the same. So those are nice whole numbers, so that'll work out. And let's go ahead and bring ourselves up to our plane. And let's go ahead and make this a height of 0.25. So they got to step up onto the platform. And let's go ahead and expand this out in our X direction. Let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go up to 7. So we got a gap of 1.5 between each side. And we'll go out 3 or 4. Yeah, we'll go out 4. And we'll just go ahead and build that. And this will be our actual elevator platform. And I want to have a lever to control my elevator going up. So let's go ahead and grab the lever that we made in one of our previous parts. And we'll go ahead and put this down. Flip that around 180, and actually we'll go ahead and do a 90 degrees so it's on the ground. Put that right there in the middle, 4.25. And we'll inch this back in our Z direction as well. Yeah. There we go. And we have to be careful with ProGrids on. Anytime we change the position, it's going to snap. So if we need to do a minuscule change, you need to either use the editor, the inspector window rather, or just flip off ProGrids real quick and make your adjustment, or change the snap factor, the snap value rather, by to whatever you want. In that case, I might have put it down to 0.25 and just slide over. But you know, it's simple enough just to change the number. Now our lever in and of itself is an interactable that triggers another interaction. So we want to have our elevator is going to be an interactable, except it can't directly be interacted with. It's not going to have an interaction check or anything like that. It's just going to have whatever operations we're going to have for interacting that's going to get executed by the lever. Which, let's go take a look at that real quick. So remote interaction, this just calls the interact method. It doesn't do anything else. Why? And it runs the entire interaction routine. So because it yield returns on that, we'll wait until the elevator is completely finished. So let's go ahead and make our elevator interaction. Elevator interactable. Elevator interactable. If I could spell elevator. Yes, I did spell it right earlier. I had to go double check that. Our usual rigmarole here, using Unity Engine. And we will make this a... We're not going to use an animator for this. This is actually going to be a lot more simple. We're just going to transpose the position between two transform locations. So let's go ahead and... I think we can just... Do I have any other base classes in this thing I want to use? No, not really, right? And I'm just going to grab my... Yeah, I'll just grab this one as a starting point. So this will have our in progress and all that stuff. And we just start from that. Actually, let me copy this for later. I'll make a code snippet out of that in a little bit. So we got that, and that's fine. So what we want to do is we're going to have two transforms. Position 1 and position 2. And I suppose we'll have a speed as well. Do that real quick to get the squiggly to go away. So what's going to happen is we need to know a couple things, right? So our elevator platform First off, I'm going to set pivot on this thing. I'm also going to parent the lever to this guy. So our first transform is going to be that. So let's go ahead and create two empty game objects in our scene. Elevator position 1, we are going to make exactly the same as our elevator's starting position. So paste the component value. And what's the difference here between this plane and the elevator? The plane is -1, 1, -1. I'm going to write that down real quick. Plane 2, we're going to make this a round number and just make that 20. And our elevator position is for 1.125 and -3. So our elevator 2 position is going to mostly be the same because we're not going to move on the X and Z axis. But we are going to go up by 20. So it'll be 21.125. So our speed, well, we'll find out what our speed's going to be when we do this real quick, but for our code, let's go ahead and say we need to determine if our position is equal to position 1 or position 2. So private vector3 target position on interact if so if we're at position 1, then our target's position 2. Otherwise, our target's position 1. And we need a Boolean. All right, so for our update, and actually we are going to not return to in progress false until we reach our position, which we'll get to here in a second. So in our update, if we are moving, well, I do yield return on this thing. So we'll do one of those. we'll wait a quarter. We'll do that every quarter of a second. No need to sit here and continually spin. We can give that a every other frame or so, which would be or rather, do that about every 20 frames or so. So if we're moving, we want to this dot transform dot position is equal to vector 3 dot lerp this dot transform dot position this dot target position time dot delta, I believe is how we want to do that. If this dot transform dot position, rather if vector 3 dot distance of this dot transform dot position and this dot target position is less than or equal to 0.001f, this dot transform dot position is equal to this dot target position is moving is false. So if we get to a certain distance, we're just going to go ahead and snap into position, because this lerp can get a little iffy when you get towards the last bit of space. And that should be that. So let's go ahead and wire up our elevator interactable real quick. And actually, I'm going to make this a child of an empty game object. There we go. Our elevator here is going to have a elevator interactable. Our position 1 is going to get bound up. Position 2 is going to get bound up. And for our speed, well, actually, we didn't even use speed. Speed times time delta. So vector 3.lerp, linearly interpolate between two vectors based on that. I think I just want to multiply speed. And we're going to make speed start off as 1, so it'll just be constant time, and then we can slow it down or speed it up based on the difference between 0 to 1 or 1 and whatever. It could zip real quick, but based on this, it'll just go based on our frame rate, which will be 60 frames a second, so it'll move 0.166 or whatever meters per frame, or 0.0166, whichever one it is. I always fudge that in my brain. Yeah. And for our lever, our interactable we're going to interact is going to be the elevator itself. Can it revert state? Yes. And because of the way we deal with our yield return here, our remote interaction is going to not let us flip the lever until the elevator has reached its new position. So let's go ahead and place the player. Let's flip them around. And let's see what happens. Let's close our gizmos and widen this on out a bit. Alright, so we got our platform. Oh, because of the plane only has a one-sided normal, we can't see it from the bottom. It's, oh God. Well, part of it worked. Our lever came with us. Um, huh. Hmm. I was gonna say I wasn't still returning null, was I? But no, I'm not. Oh, well, this wasn't active. So we never actually got the interactable instance from that interaction. Whoopsie daisy. Even still, what the hell? Oh, you know what? See, I keep making this mistake. I keep forgetting about this. Items that are batching static, which ProBuilder objects are by default, cannot move. So there we go. That should take care of that. That was pretty funny. I like that. It's a little bumpy, to be sure. That's not quite the appropriate height either. Because our position was previously based on the platform's position. Wait, no, that was right. 1.125. Our elevator position 1 is 1.125. Oh, because yeah. All right, so we'll go up to 20. The platform should be, because the platform is offset from the actual game object. When we came back down, we would have seen the same offset. So we want our position 1 to also just be 1. And that'll be fine. Though that doesn't help us with our bumping. And we're bumping because the collider is being pushed. Um, yeah. So I wonder if we drop the speed down. Will the ride be a little bit smoother? Alternately, I need to bring this. I think we need to bring this range in a little bit. It didn't really help too much. Yeah, I see what I mean by getting a little finicky when we get to the end there. that distance is a little bit too low, I guess. Otherwise, it should have snapped into place quicker. So let's go to a 0.1 distance, and also that speed is actually, let's have some fun. Oh, sorry, change code. That's also interesting that lever. Whoa. Okay, 10 is too much. I went right through the collider. The distance traveled for the platform to the next position put me immediately above the player, so it was just like the sheet was pulled out from under me. Yeah, so that's a little bit better. But well, I mean, really, that's where things like inverse kinematics come into play, where you want to route the player to a particular position. Um, yeah, so I think in my case, if the player's the one that's going to always be interacting with objects, which I think is kind of the case, at least for now, what I want to do is I would want to route the player to the elevator for the duration of the trip. Then again, though, there is also a scenario where I want to flip the elevator and then jump off. Hmm. I don't know. But either way, I mean, we have a working elevator. So thank you for watching, and I will catch you guys next time.